Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've done a little bit of updating because this is a new channel. I have changed my name to just Katie, the wedding planning coach, helping couples plan authentic weddings that are meaningful for them, manage the pressure and stress that comes with planning a wedding, financial tips, budgeting. We are working towards a no post wedding regrets, that you get to plan a wedding that you always dreamed of having. So that's why I'm here. That's my job as a wedding photographer. I've seen what works and doesn't work, and I'm going to share everything that I've seen with you. Today, we're going to talk about a decision that comes up when you're wedding planning almost right from the get-go. And this is photographer versus videographer. Who should I hire? If you are a newly engaged couple, this decision can feel very heavy and very overwhelming. In this video, I'm going to break down what you're going to get from photographer, videographer, the pros and cons of hiring just either or, when it might make sense to forego one or the other, how finances and personal preference will play into this decision. It comes down to what is going to bring the most value to you after the wedding is over. First thing we're going to start with is photography, because for most couples, this is non-negotiable. And as a wedding photographer myself, I have to agree with that. I think that photos, the value that comes from having a photographer at your wedding is priceless. Your photographer is responsible for documenting your entire day. Usually you will have them from getting ready to when you leave your grand exit. The images that you're going to end up with are going to be in your albums. They're going to be on your walls. They're going to be your phone wallpapers. They're going to be shared with family and friends. Those memories can be super meaningful down the road after your wedding is over. Pros of hiring a photographer for your wedding is that photos are easy to view and share and then print. They are frozen moments in times. You're going to get the expressions, reactions, tiny details. You're likely going to look at these photos way more often than you think. Photography tends to be a little bit more budget friendly and more flexible than video. So that's something to keep in mind. Photographers are really good at capturing the best moments of the wedding day. So it can even make like a sad wedding look happy. The cons of having just a photographer, you're not going to be able to be sucked back into that moment like you would if you were watching a video. You're not going to be able to hear the vows, the speeches, the laughter. The moments can feel different when you can't see them unfold in real time, which could be a good thing depending on if your wedding was what you call a happy wedding or if there were a lot of issues that came up. Let's talk about videography. Videographers capture the movement, the sound, the emotion in a completely different way than a photographer. This is where you get to hear the vows, relive the speeches, the laughter. You're in the moment. It brings you back to that moment in the past and you're present. So you're almost past and present at the same time, if you want to get like technical. I don't know. You get to hear the voices of the people you love, which can be important when years down the road, maybe those people aren't around anymore, and maybe even your spouse, heaven forbid, is not around anymore. Like, this can be very valuable and sentimental to people to have a video of their wedding. So the pros of having a video of your wedding are: you're going to get the audio, you're going to get the vows, speeches, reactions, relive the moments in real time. It can feel very emotional and cinematic, helps preserve the memories more vividly than photos do. Some of the cons of having a videographer is that it's often a little bit more expensive than hiring a photographer. Most couples will not rewatch their video as much as they think they will. It can be a little bit harder to download just due to file size. It's harder to share. It's usually just focused on the couple throughout the day and like the 3 to 7 minutes of the best moments of your wedding day. So that doesn't feel like a lot, but it can be very sentimental, and just videos can feel less usable day to day compared to photos. This is the dream scenario, is having a videographer and a photographer cover your wedding. If your budget allows, having both a photographer and a videographer is absolutely the best of both worlds and the best way to go. You're going to get the images, you're going to be able to use those pictures, print those pictures, share, post, and then you're also going to have the video. So this is the complete package, especially if you have a good photo and video team. Like if they work really well together, it can just create a cohesive day. They are going to run the day of your wedding. All right. So you have your planner if you have a planner, but it comes down to the photographers and videographers' time. So if you have like the dream team, then they're going to make the day special. They're going to make the day less stressful. They're going to help the events move forward. And it's just going to be overall a better experience and a complete documentation of your wedding day, which is so valuable and so sentimental. That being said, and this is so important, hiring both a photographer and a videographer only makes sense when you can afford it without sacrificing other priorities. Photographers can range from anywhere from, I mean, on the very, very lowest end, if you can get it for free, like I'm I'm saying like probably don't do this, but there are photographers that are willing to shoot an entire wedding for free to get experience. 10K photographers, 20K, and so on. So it just kind of depends on like your budget. Videographers kind of fall the same, just a little bit on the pricier side typically. Not sacrifice your wedding budget for both. That is going to cause financial stress and regretful choices later on. Your wedding is one day, but your marriage is long. Overspending to the point of stress is not worth it and is going to set your marriage off on the wrong foot completely. Your professionals don't work well together. That can cause issues, that can distract them both from what they're actually there for. The purpose is to celebrate you and to document your special day as a couple. And so if the videographer and the photographer are in like a little tiff, which does happen unfortunately, then this can cause some drama throughout the day. That is totally unnecessary. I mean, professionals should be professional in the workplace, and that includes at weddings as well, especially at weddings. Like put your stuff aside, like we can work together. Talk about the finances a little bit more because this is usually what it comes down to when making the decision. If your budget is tight, here is the general rule of thumb. Prioritize photography, then decide if a video is a want or a need. There are alternative choices to working around this situation, as in hiring a videographer for just a few hours, for fewer hours. There's different packages that videographers offer that you could have them cover just 1 or 2 hours, just the ceremony and then maybe the reception. That can provide like a smaller video that you can have if that is important to you. You can ask for speeches to be recorded. You can even have people record on their phones. It's your wedding and you got to do what you got to do to be able to preserve the memories. So if you can't afford a videographer, then by all means, set up a tripod, set up something, have somebody running their phone at all times and make your own highlight reel of your wedding. Or you can have a QR code. I've seen this at weddings where people will scan the QR code and they'll send their videos and photos to like a site, and it will go to the couple so that they can download those and use them for their wedding albums and their wedding videos, which is great because guests are going to be taking a lot of random pictures, but you might get some good pictures too. Record the speeches on your own, on your phone. Like there are so many ways to document a wedding without sacrificing like your budget or your finances for this wedding, because weddings are so expensive. There's no shame in choosing what works for your budget as a couple. Another thing to consider when trying to decide what's right for you in this decision, you should ask yourself the question, do we rewatch our videos often or do we look at photos? That should be something that you consider. If you watch more of your videos, then obviously you might want to consider hiring a videographer. Or if you look more at photos, then obviously photos are the priority for you. Another question to ask is hearing our vows important to us? Is hearing the speeches important to us? Are we going to regret not having a video or regret overspending? Realistically, what are we going to revisit 5, 10, 20 years from now? Some couples are going to cherish a video forever, but some are going to watch it once and never again. At the end of the day, you just need to make sure that the decision is deeply personal. There's no right or wrong answer, only what feels right to you and your partner. Make sure that you are looking at the styles of the photographer and the videographer that you are wanting to hire. Look at prices in your area. Always hire locally if you can, because that will get around the travel fees that some photographers and videographers have. Look for mid pricing. You can go high end, but also look at like if the work is consistent or if it's different. Ask to see an entire gallery, ask to see a full wedding highlight video. These are really important things to do when considering like who to hire and if you're going to hire both or one or the other. Bottom line is photography is typically essential. Videography is amazing, but totally optional. Both together, dream team, incredible dream thing, but only if it fits your life and your budget. If this video helped you, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you're currently planning a wedding. I see you. This stuff is really hard and expensive. You're doing a great job. Keep going, keep planning, and make sure it's authentic to you. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.